Has this started? I think it has. Start the audio. How loud have I got it? Make sure I can hear it. There we go, we are live. That's good. So, hello people. If anyone's here, which they're not because it's the first 30 seconds. Right, the glove. We need the magical glove. And then I can start doing this colouring because, as I said before, I have coloured the outlines in. It looks like a drunk person did it because I'm awful at this, but, you know, we can do a job of it. Lovely. There we go. You see, that's a different pink to that because, much like round here, the metal kind of curves round and up. And it is. The different metals there. This also, I kind of have it going across different, how would I say, different metals. So it's going to be a very, very tricky thing to colour in. But this is where it all starts coming together, and this is why I wanted to save doing this and not just do it back then when I had finished all the preparations for it. See, it's so satisfying. It's the most satisfying part of the entire drawing, I think. Probably best to get a bit of a paintbrush here because, well, maybe not one that strong. But I see at the top, a lot of this just isn't quite as, how would I say, finished as it should be. I also need a sharper pen. There we go. You'll see the fade isn't quite as beautiful as I wanted it to be. Into this line. There we are. There we go. I am on the camera, yes. I'm showing. I have my comments up here as well. Like over there. But they're up. The music has got messed up, so there we go. That has sorted it. A few minutes in and I finally got to sorting that problem out. So then we have this and I can go put that pen down, eyedropper it and fill buckets. That should give me a pink there. It is starting to take form, I must admit. Although the colours, they do make it fill in very oddly. You know, not the clearest. I think what was going on here, I was getting so tired because it was getting late and I was trying to do so much in a day. And I just ended up messing up. I guess I overdid it. It is an enjoyable thing to do, but it's like, it has limits to how much you can realistically do. Should I use a fill bucket here? I think I can. I shouldn't see any issues with doing such. Eyedropper. Fill the eyedropper. There we go. I think that should work. Although again, I am seeing this. I'm not getting the hand and using that pen because I don't want to go that far yet as to correct things. But I don't want to leave it until a later point in time, because I would most likely start missing things or forgetting them. Even that, you see, slipped me at first, and then I didn't get to it because, well, I didn't notice what was going on up there. You see, I think these pastel colours are looking glorious, personally. And then we've got that section, which looks pretty decent, actually, although there is some pink. I mean, you saw the way I did it if you watched my last stream, and I just kind of rushed through these underneath, but I still have no line left underneath, making it a beautiful fade, although I did miss that. Now I have not missed it. There we go. You know, what's crazy about this song is it sounds like it could have been the last song. But it isn't, it's a completely different one. That's not the correct one, is it? There we are. Oh, just place that in there. I'm pretty content with that now. I did use, I think, Vivid for these eyes, which are actually on an LCD screen. And although pink is not a colour of cat eyes, i.e. not the ones you see on a road. I mean, I don't know, maybe you can get pink cat eyes on a road, because, you know, cat eyes are like one of those things. Yeah, I had to do some erasing there. Might not have worked as good as it perhaps could have, but pink is not like a cat eyes colour. However, I could make the background green, which is a very traditional kind of CRT terminal look. I'm just trying to think, if I go on Wikimedia, I might find some open relating to it. I'm seeing something here. Yeah, Creative Commons, so I can actually show this on stream, as long as I credit. You see, it's got that kind of green on the display. I mean, it's far, far from the best image I could have used, but older displays tend to give off that kind of green image. And although it would most likely in this case be an OLED display or something, I am thinking that, first of all, maybe I should move my phone so I actually have somewhere to put my arm. Yeah. Break literally everything on the left hand side of a desk while I'm doing it. They do have that kind of look to them, with the green, and then you have stuff on top of that. So let's see, if I can find the artist. There we go. Bugrap is the creator of that image, if you want to use it in your work. There's actually an interesting story about this. You see, he's got she, I guess, has got a cat nose here. That is actually bass reflex for the speakers which are up here, which increases the bass, because the original one, which was styled to look somewhat like a bear, not a cat, had round ears, and they were the speakers, just like circular speakers. But this one I went with cat ears, and I had to put the speakers low down. You know how a lot of those flat panel televisions have speakers that shoot downwards for the sound? Let's draw on my drawing, sure. Basically, you have your television, and then the speakers, and that's how the sound comes out. It's basically pointing upwards, but the same kind of idea. And they're the holes for the sound to get out, hence why they are very dark grey. Bass reflex, so I remember the original drawing did say bass reflex. I may add that back in. Now I've got the pink and everything, I may just go and create some text and in that colour and like place it on there, all in the same line, as if it's a terminal screen, you know. We do have to, as I'm sure some eagle-eyed viewers will have noticed though, we do have to fill in some black area here, because it's just not, it's not full looking, and it's not the same. It just ain't the same, man. So that's not closing a gap really. Maybe it's a tolerance. Yeah, if I do that, oh dear, I've messed up my image. So there's a certain tolerance I'm going to need to get this working. Let's try 78.5. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. Yes, I know it's not perfect, but if I go under there, just basically make sure there's no exposed kind of checkerboard patterning going on when I have done this with the line here, and I should be good to go. I mean, I might even be going a bit too far this way, but as long as there's no checkerboard patterning, it should still look clean. It should still look, let's say, refined. Probably not the right word, but yeah. There we are. Wonder if I've got any viewers up at the minute. Can actually bring this round here. That's probably the good idea to do. And you can go here in case I need to use Wikimedia again. 2 views, 1 concurrent. But not anymore. Well, people are finding the stream. I mean, I guess I could say that is a thing. It's good for me anyway, streaming. I find it gets work done. Otherwise, I would just be lazy and not get anything done. Right, so let's say about 3, maybe. Oh dear. Fluff that up. There we go. I think that's worked. I think it's done what I've meant it to do. And you see, I can get so obsessive. The reason I didn't fill these black areas in before, again, I got tired. I'd have liked to do so much, but there's only so much I can do before I just run out of energy and I run out of my mental stead to carry on. Maybe with time I will get better, but it hasn't worked so far. My mental tolerance is still so low. Can only try and improve. But isn't that true for anybody? Anyone can only try and improve. Few people are completely improving and transforming their lives into something better than it was. Better than they were. Doesn't mean success can't be found, it's just maybe not the most common story in the world. I remember, when was it? The day before yesterday? It started playing a load of Christmas songs. Yeah, YouTube doesn't know what to do with me. And I don't know why that wasn't on the strongest like clipping setting there. Now it's really snapping in and I like that. Do. There we are. Okay, that is like a process I feel I'm getting too involved with. You know, at this rate, maybe I should just carry on with the lines as they are. You know, this is probably a better decision though than trying to use a fill bucket now. That I try and use it now after I have kind of sketched out these fill areas. Okay. There we are. Now the fill bucket is going to need... It's going to need to counter that kind of semi-faded... what would I call it? However... I should be able to do that. Whoops. I think I need less tolerance. Maybe I need a bit more tolerance. Was that less? I don't know which way is which. I feel like I should check the chat. There we are. People are coming and then leaving. Am I that boring? I guess if you click on the stream by accident. But it's like people know it's here. I guess it's just a case of finding someone that wants to stay. It's the hard part. Have I actually... I don't think I've changed anything. So... if I go back to that page... excellent connection. I can stop that for now. So... I've forgotten what I was doing. Something to do with a live stream. Yeah, I can remember the little window I just paused was running at 360p. I can't remember that I was actually trying to do something important as well. Kitty mittens. Now, what colour do I want the clothes to be? I'm thinking there's a light blue and or kind of bright blues and pinks. What other colours would go with that? Well, there's RGB. If we respect pink as being red, I think if we go with like a pastel, is it? Well, bright tone or kind of pastel. Deep tone, no. Soft. This looks nice. So I'll make this bigger just to show it. And I'm on the paintbrush as well. I want the ink pen for maximum. Wait, have I erased a line there at some point? Anyway, here is our green colour, which I'm reasonably happy with, but coming out now, it does look a little dark. That is actually vomit coloured. Okay. Why? I guess that isn't too bad compared to what it could be. As I was saying, I was playing with vomit colours, greens. I think I've done this right. Okay. So I can do that. And I'm not on the fill bucket. That would be G, wouldn't it? I can vaguely remember my hotkeys. Would you look at that? So there we go. Okay, I just wanted to see how that would work. It didn't actually come out too bad, mind you. But it's by no means pixel perfect, so it will not do the job. Where am I? Right, do I want that to be like the darker metals, or do I want it to be the lighter metals? I'd say lighter, if I'm entirely honest. It seems to complement that kind of a feel. It's easy to misunderstand how I mean by feel, but I hope it'll make sense in due time. There we are. Yep, just more of the same. That's how we do it round here. But at least as I go along these outlines, the arms will begin to show. It looks like a chaotic mess of lines at the moment, but I do have a well-defined plan as to where I am taking these. Because it's just painted metal. It's not actually a set of arms. I put so much work into a wet floor sign, and I've remembered what I was going to check originally. Yes, adding to the wet floor sign. Stream settings. Yep, I think I can leave that as is. I feel like I've had this song on before in the stream. But that not today, but still. However, a lot of these do seem to have previously used guitar riffs and such that would naturally be recognisable. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Don't know why I've got all that there when I'm obviously going to use a different colour of metal, but it's not too late to change. Now you see, here's the thing. It's not patterned in a fancy way, and it's not meant to be. Because it's not meant to be, I don't have to worry about this being the same colour around a corner or something. Like there, I had to have a different colour around the corner. The line meant something. The line doesn't really mean anything here until I put it back on the picture. And then it all begins to fall into place. And again, with that being the case, I can just draw a simple sketch over there with this colour. Again, I seem to have been drawing to that side. Well, actually, no, I haven't. I thought it was, but I didn't make too much of a mistake there. I've made these mistakes before, and although the solution isn't necessarily that difficult, it makes me feel incredibly stupid. The fact that I would miss something so obvious. I'm gonna have to do this, I think. Prop this line up. So that should work. Yeah, that line is thin, but if I had to choose any colour, white is probably the better one to have. Yeah, this is the colour I'm actually coincidentally supposed to have here. It seems the top of the skirt is very odd lines. Or I say that it's just metal, really. Just a load of metal. Aluminium and steel. Oh dear. I leaked. I leaked into the next panel. Yeah, you can see the green peeking through there. It's not where it's meant to be. But because the line is so thin, it happens and you can't really avoid it. In some places the lines are a lot thicker, like if I can find a good place. You see, that's quite a thick line there. Just the whole thing along is not near as thin, but that's how these things are. You make a picture this many pixels, it becomes unpredictable. Double check me chat. Analytics. Again, people are finding the stream. Probably not meaning to find my stream, but they're finding it. Should I take that as a compliment or not? I don't know. There we go. So that is going to be a piece of wood. I don't want to draw green underneath it or something. Maybe under here, but that'll wait because the letters and such are in a complete mess. I'm not so sure how I want to explore correction of that. I'll do this in sections. Makes it a little easier to handle. There we are. Cover over that white piece. Wow, the white really went out of its home quite a while before finally giving up. Because it's supposed to be confined within this line. Oh, I don't know where to draw the line. And then we have a traditional problem. Can you even see the lines like when it's small like this on a lower resolution display? Not huge lines, so I guess that's another problem with it. Is this line getting thicker? I think it might be. There we go. So what I've got to do here is also do this now. This section, would you call it? And then I think I can move to the one in between them. See, very much the same as what I did on that skirt. It's on to come together. Although granted, I love my lovely clean line art, so I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices, safe to say. And those sacrifices are going to be ones that the white area here is bearing. There we go. Lovely. Gonna have to rotate this, I think. The joys of digital art, though, because I do not have the space to rotate an actual piece of paper all the time. Like I would say, being 15.6 inches is probably about as big as an A4 piece of paper, this. It feels that way. And yeah, this is the farmer music that gives me power. We'll be doing the barn dance. Wait, what was it? I don't even know what a barn dance is, okay? I'm gonna have to look up what is a barn dance. Yep. Traditional or folk music dancing held in a barn. You see, I subconsciously know so many things that I don't actually know on the surface of them. Maybe because my subconscious is actually half intelligent, but I'm stupid, so... Yeah. Yes, like, I couldn't find Shakespeare in my head, but I could find Yes Sir, I Can Boogie in the English exam. Ain't that how it always goes? They want to write about you know not in what you do, but you just want to boogie. There we go. So, I think it is Phil Bucket time. Phil, time to do your job. And I've messed it up, so Phil cannot do his job. I've pressed in the wrong key, it's G. You know, I feel like that should have been easier, but believe me, as it gets together here, maybe not. So we'll go eyedropper, paint. Alright, I think I see something here. Sorry, I can't see something that might be wrong and then leave it in the hands of someone else to fix it, because my problems are my responsibility. No, because my problems must be fixed by me. I'm possessive like that. If you think you can take my problems away from me, well, tough. You're not gonna. I will not let you. You'll have to pry my problems from my cold, dead hands. And even then I won't let you have them. So, the colours. The colours need to be received. Now, I'm going to need to find something similar to that green. So, what have I got? I've got soft tone. Going to need, let's say, strong tone. How does that compare? Well, that's a strong colour, but it's a grey. That's like the soft, sorry, that's a strong tone equivalent green. I don't know if it's quite there though. I think that's a bit more like it. Yes, of course I'm going to leave a giant blot over my work. It looks unprofessional, meaning exactly why I would need it there. Because my work is not professional. Yeah, it'll be done with and gone by the time anyone sees a final finished product. So what do I care if a bit of work in progress makes its way there for now? There they are. Oh dear. Again, let's check how my numbers are doing. No one else has joined yet. I'd say I'm probably about 40, well, I am 40 something minutes in, but I mean probably halfway through now. Probably do similar time to what I was doing before. Just works at that time. I'm not sure I'll be able to do any more after then anyway, any more art. We'll have to see if when the live stream is finished and things have died down a bit, I'm still able to draw, then brilliant. Yeah, there we go. Now it's attached. Now it's part of a drawing. Welcome home, giant blob. I don't know. So anyway, this is okay. This is something. Big size. Big size make me happy. Big size make life easy for me. For me. There we go. It's gone a long way this week, I must say. Compared to where this vehicle was, not vehicle, this machine was not a long time ago, and I can say that because it is a machine technically. It's a floor cleaning, wet floor sign. There we are. I'm going to fix this defect here, don't you worry. So line art. No, not line art, because I'm not in the right colour at the moment. And I can't be bothered to change at the moment. It'll just make things harder. I do think I can get away with it though at one point. I just have to wait for the right opening, so to speak. I've also got fine detail line art. Yes, it was supposed to say detail, but there is an extra E on there, which I did not know, but now I know. Now you know as well, if you hadn't noticed it originally. I think my PC might have got very angry at me. Save you. Threw me into a real panic. I think something just happened and it didn't colour correctly. I am working with a fair number of pixels, so who knows? I mean, I've got 8 cores and 16 threads on a slightly older processor, but this is still a very powerful machine, so that won't be the issue. Oh, wow. Yeah, that doesn't quite fill the gap. Sorted now anyway. Alright, I'm gonna back this up. Should have done this a long time ago. Oh, I can see the colours. Right up there. Usually they don't go so easily. Usually they're not so easy to see across the entire picture because historically there hasn't been colour across the entire picture, but now there will be. There we go. Colour is saved in 2 locations. I think that looks pretty decent. Oh, I was thinking that line didn't mean anything, so why is it trying to mean something? That works. Something to do with tolerance there was getting in the way, but since lowering that number, it's now filling them out nicely. Okay, so we need a big brush. Okay, so here we have the line that I don't need at all. The top one does be needed, but not the underneath one. See, now it might be starting to take shape of this kind of colour scheme we've got going on. I'm becoming a decreasing fan of that green colour though. It doesn't seem to match, that's my issue with it, but I don't know, can't we colour it now? Particularly. I mean, I could always try. I guess I'll just have to hope and see how it turns out. Anyway, how are the YouTubes doing? Okay. Just under an hour in now. All is going according to my plan. All is going according to my plant's evil plan. This is another barn dance song. Barn dance art stream. Do 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 do. This is a bit of an odd curve here. But you see, I can't just get rid of these black parts because they're part of the metal. They're part of the kind of optical illusion I am trying to raise from the ground. Ah, that was the other thing. I did need to do some line correction when I do get the chance. I mentioned it before, but I wasn't with the black pen at the moment then, so now would be a better time. But now I'm doing other stuff because I got distracted. Let's give this a nice fill out.
Please just have a look, I'm putting it in now.
There we are.
Please just look.
So sure, I heard noise. The hopefully the desktop audio from the music is cancelling out any unwanted noise from beyond. Yeah, anyway. That's actually the right size. About what I need. About not what I need. How small do I have to make this to like properly... There we go. I think that'll have to do. I mean, it's not perfect, but to actually get it working, I've made a good solid join. It's not noticeable from a distance. Now, what colours will I use here? Because, again, it's still metal, but I'm, like, trying to go with the illusion of making it 3D. Like, without a doubt, some kind of, this silvery colour, which I actually forgot to colour in back then. So we can go and find the bucket. There we go. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be nice and shiny when it's done. I'm thinking it has to be like that, though. It could even be the same colour, but I think it would have to be a bit lighter, personally. Or darker. Could very well use this same colour. It's actually going to be portraying the back of that metal, isn't it? So I feel like if I'm to eyedropper that, I feel like that's going to be the best workable colour, but then it's not actually looking inside anything. It gets so complicated. Alright. There's supposed to be like actual fur or something because it's a cat. So the actual cat I was looking at was red, but it was orange. It's called a red cat, but it's kind of an orangey colour. Just have to turn my attribution off for a moment so I can check the colour. It's that colour anyway. We're kind of dark orange, I would say. That's probably the right colour. I like that. That's a very strong tone orange, which is exactly what you need. I mean, I'm going to do all the natural stuff like shadowing and everything else, but that kind of goes on top of the colours. This is just the base image. Yeah, we're going to have green naturally for here. And that was just a triangle at the top. I was saying earlier, this nose, it was just a triangle at the top, but I turned it into a kitten nose and base reflex, which I think was a pretty good move on my part. A pretty good move. Boop. I think the cats that we're looking at did have some kind of variation in texture and such, but I can add that later too, as a finer detail. Here, just on to get the base colour before I focus on anything fine. So again, it's like... Also, I'm doing it completely wrong. I'm drawing on the wrong layers. The layers I'm supposed to protect is what I'm drawing on, and that is awful of me. Really. When will I learn? I guess I'll never learn. And then we also have that. Also, I'll never learn because that's not the right piece of metal to draw on. So basically, around that goes. I don't know what else I'm gonna have here though, because you see the arm comes out, but aside from the places where the arm obviously isn't, that part of the body would be the same colour. It's not like the skin tone magically changes. Well, I say skin tone, fur tone technically, as it's a cat wet floor sign. Yeah, I'm just thinking maybe I should make this smaller, but then I don't really need to, because again, the line is so thick, it doesn't matter if there's some minor discrepancies in the way I've drawn it. It matters a lot if we have a very, very thin line. Okay, maybe that gets a bit thinner than I'd thought. I think I can still go up to 5 though for size. Should help me get some nice polish in here. Just as I comb through it. Comb through the nice fur. Here I really think I've chosen the right colour. And that green, I guess it's coming into its own, because I didn't like it. I like it a little more now. With this orange, it's starting to show its advantages. You see, this is a piece of metal, so that is important because that affects the overall colour change. And again, what I'm going to do there, I'm going to have something that's very, very similar, however, has a different overall colour. So in this respect, yeah, I've actually joined them up, and although accidental, I can colour that in. Although it's an accidental point of contention. They are ready to colour, so I can colour them. But you'll see, here we have that whole piece of metal there. It maintains that consistent kind of bright, strong tone. And yes, it's going to get a bit more glossy, a bit more metallic as it goes. But then we have this much more pastel looking layer here. What is this? Very weird tune. Someone playing guitar in a coin arcade. And there's a pen I need to go Heidi for now, while I choose a colour. Soft tone. Let's see what soft tone gives me. Nope. I should probably just get the pen. It makes things a bit easier. And actually, yeah, make sure it's on soft tone. That is really pink. I think I can do a little better. Even pinker. There we go. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at. It's not ideal, though. I feel I could do better. It's nowhere near red. That's the thing. Pale? It's not going to be under pale. Light? You see, you end up getting these, but they're very much human skin tones, not cat skin tones. You know, deep. I'm not going for a shaven cat. That can kind of work. I'm not liking it at the moment, but I can just tell this is going to look good. I'll give the next colour down a try. And then what have we got here? In a way, I feel like I maybe should have done the reverse. Nah, I'm going with this one. See if there's any comments, because I do like to check. Well, somehow my concurrent viewers seems to have gone up for time, but my actual number of viewers has not. Very odd. Oh, well, that's a thing, isn't it? I guess since I've already gone so far... There we are. Doo -doo -doo -doo. You see, it's taken me a while to work through all the little segments of this, but now I'm beginning to realise I think I was making it more complicated originally than it should be. There we are. There we are. Colour that in. So, I think it's beginning to take shape. That still looks a bit awkward and goofy because I haven't filled it in yet. So I'm going to have to go a bit larger on the paintbrush. There we are. You see, it's going to look like that though. And there's nothing I can really do to it to make it look a little nicer. Those shoulders are meant to be exposed like that, so they're not really, but they're sharp pieces of metal that vaguely look like cat shoulders when I'm done. Right, and I know. So we've got to finish this off. I think, luckily, it looks like I'm still in the clear to just fly through there. And then imagine this, I've got to do it on the other side. Luckily this is a complicated side, so by starting at the left and going to the right, I have got the complicated stuff done with first. Instead of starting on a lovely easy side, you know, where you just got to colour in a bit of shoulder and that's it. And then there's that, like, choosing all the colours and everything. There we are. And then, if we go with a fill bucket, you'll kind of use that green to finish filling it in. I know that might not be perfect, though. I should probably have done more to them. I think they just need to be the same colour as the rest of the whole thing, so yeah. Do that and Maybe I'll make it white or something. I don't know. I've not looked at enough detail at what I need to do. There we go. He'll need to have some kind of mittens, or she'll need to have some kind of mittens there, like cats do. You know, where the pattern just stops and it's just fur. That's for mittens. And I will have to incorporate the mittens. Can't forget such an anatomically correct feature. I'll speak eventually. How many years does it take someone born in England to learn their own language? Apparently a lot of them. Mainly because they were trying to teach someone with short-term memory loss how to memorise information and not actually how to use the information. See, I can't play piano unless the music is right there in front of me. Doesn't mean I'm awful, just means I can't memorise. But that's how everyone is judged nowadays. I think, well, there's a bit of a curve here. Well, that's quite a difference in pace. I'm just thinking Silent Nation by Asia. The intro was exactly the same as another song. I can't think what the other song was, but they both had exactly the same intro. I think that was it. I think it was El Condor Pasa and one of the Silent Nation songs by Asia. They both have exactly the same intro. Oddly, this doesn't motivate me as much as barn dance music. Yeah, what happened to me? How are we going on? We are, oh, almost 1.5 hours already. Well, the arm is done. There's going to be a lot of green on this, I'm just thinking. Okay, so pivot that, and I think, am I at the bottom of the page or something? Yes, I am. So I guess if I can find the scroller and stuff. There we go. So that will provide us with a solid base for our colour. There we are. Fill in these. So I'm sure that will look better when it's actually fully complete with the shadows and everything. But for now, it is just an unfinished wet floor sign. Now I can't really leave this without at least doing this, because I feel it would be a crime to leave such a crucial part so low down on the drawing incomplete. Let's say incomplete. The whole thing is incomplete because it's not got shading and such, but pre-phase 2, I guess. There we are. Luckily, it seems easier than I was expecting, because I think that was harder than the others. Just being the final one, and that is different. That made it harder, but this, I'm kind of used to the process. Shamefully now, though, it is a narrower line we've got to work with. We are working with black, which makes things a bit easier, because there's a mistake here, it's more likely to blend and be hidden, but I don't like to just cover up my mistakes like that. I like to do a good job. I don't often do a very good job, but I like to. I actually do a good job, but that it looks like you did a good job. And that the boss never finds out. I'm a terrible influence. Hey, I try and make gaming videos and I go through the shredders for fun. On Brickwigs. I'm not the kind of person that should be influencing this next generation. Ah dear, there's my tired self missing things out. As I say, being where it is, at this point, it's a little easier. So there we are. This is not good. I feel like I've walked into a kitchen with a 1-star hygiene rate. Just everything does not look right. There we go. Again, did I ever put any attention in? It's like the problems and the defects keep showing themselves. At least did I polish that one up? Yeah, I think I polished up the one I thought I wasn't polishing up, which makes things a little easier. Because now it means that one is polished up. It means this one isn't, though. And I don't even want to know how or why the pink is invading the blue's territory over here. If I just show you. Well, somewhere. There we go. There's a blot of pink on my perfect blue. Trying to turn it into a disco sandwich here. There we go. Gotta fill these in. Is this more barn dancing? I don't know. Might not be. Probably shouldn't get my hopes up too much. Let's reset the orientation, and there we go. I think for today's work I've done fairly well. We're going to save as. Find where it is. So where was I? That was AMV practice. The other one was in pictures. And that is that. So the stream, I can find the doodad. I'll be finishing up now. We've got a few minutes more than I was expecting, but still, to my word, I have made it 1.5 hours, and I will be finishing up. So until next time, goodbye.